Welcome back, everybody, to the gRaceland Shootout Series. Patrick Morrison coming to you live here with SimTrack's broadcast, and joining alongside me tonight, ever as great as always, will be Douglas Ross Jr. Appreciate you joining me here tonight here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I've got to tell you, we got a bunch of changes here for the gRaceland Shootout Series. We're going back to super speedways. We're getting back to the super late models. Douglas, talk to me a little bit about this series and how the drivers feel out there on the track.
Definitely the drivers have got to get comfortable and getting used to these super late models, because these cars are definitely not like the former late models that we've seen at the beginning of the season. These guys definitely have to get used to the greater speeds of these cars, and with getting used to super speedways, it's going to be big changes for a couple of these drivers. So we might see a couple of name changes maybe up front for this race, or we might see a couple different things happening, but definitely big changes are happening.
Now, I've got to admit, I haven't driven the previous cars that we've seen. I have driven the super late models here, and talk to me about traction as we watch Randy Bledsoe sliding around these turns out here at Indianapolis. I mean, I always feel the rear end just never wants to hook in these cars, and they try to slip out from under you. I mean, do you feel the same way?
When it comes to a track like this, I would feel somewhat of the same way, because when it comes to these cars, and especially this in particular track, we're going to be seeing speeds hit at about 180 miles an hour. So it's going to be a big speed difference compared to the others, and we may see a little loose traction because of those speeds picking up so quick. But it's definitely, I think traction is going to be playing out throughout this race.
Alrighty, man. Definitely going to be a big one here. Trying to take a look at some of our starting lineup here. Daniel Holloway, Adam Robertson, and Brandon Murray sitting 1, 2, and 3. I know this tower's doing a little bit of a shuffle up. You can thank old SDK for squaring that away right at the beginning. Randy Bledsoe is hitting a 4th spot start next to Brian Neff. Now, we are going to continue here in the heats. They're actually going to shuffle up the top 5 via qualifying into the heats and then invert them instead of down at the instead of during the feature. But we do want to give a shout out there to 5 Star Beverages, the lead sponsor of this league. They make your drinks come true, and they can design your drink system. They work from everything from beer, soda, coffee, and tea. They do sales, service, and installs, and they are your beverage system specialist. They can do anything you can drink of on tap: fountain machines, coffee machines, bubblers for teas, and slushies. Take a look at 5 Star Beverages out there as we get ready for heat number 1 here. Should be a decent one here, Douglas. I'm hoping this is going to be all they crack it up to be with the changes that they have out here at the track.
Yes, definitely. And with it being only 15 drivers tonight, we are going to be only seeing 1 heat. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys can handle this track in a group and see what names could get shuffled up into the top 5 and throughout the field. This is really going to play dividends through the whole entire season, I have a feeling.
All right, man. Well, talk to me a little bit about who ended up scoring on the pole. Did Daniel Holloway square away spot number 1? There we go.
Actually, it looks like Brian Neff will be starting on the pole, and right beside him is going to be Randy Bledsoe. So it looks like those guys will be on our front row.
All right, they'll be on the front row, followed by Brandon Murray and Adam Robertson. Daniel Holloway sitting 5th, and Robert Lynch will be in the 6th position. Starting on the inside row number 4. Billy Stanley will be starting next to Chris Akers in the number 1 machine. Larry Fairman has been on a bit of a hiatus a little bit. He is returning back to the track in the number 11, starting 9th next to David Cox in the 119. And hopefully we'll hear from David Cox later on in the run. Fireball Woody returning back to the track out here tonight in the number 9 machine, starting 11th. And on the outside row of row number 6, David Noble looks like he'll be starting out here instead of in the race booth in the tower. He'll be down onto the track, finishing out the rest of this grid here. We are seeing David Duke and Eric Blount starting in the 7th row, and finishing out the last one very, very back here is going to be Richard Sutton. Looks like that number 95 machine is going to have his work cut out for him starting out this heat. Definitely a lot of guys going to have to fly back to the front, and the rules being changed here just a little bit here, Douglas. 7 laps during this heat. Caution laps will count during the feature. So guys are going to have to figure out how to shuffle back to the front and really work on how to get their opportunity to face adversity here and try to fight their way back to the front.
Most definitely, and I can tell you this: with the caution laps being counted tonight, because I know normally we were on a we were on a no caution laps count basis, but with the caution laps counting tonight, if a caution comes out tonight, it could end up changing someone's strategy throughout the entire race.
Big time, and already Rich Blake out there saying new grandpa got the pole, which means he ends up getting the Beef Jerky Unlimited Pole Award. A couple of bags of beef jerky from the Tommy DeLago and the Beef Jerky Unlimited boys out there. I trust you. With my business, I buy a whole bunch. I think we just ordered about another 50 or 60 bags at least to go ahead and make my customers happy. So go ahead and take a look at Beef Jerky Unlimited. They got the things all the way from the original. They got mesquite. They got A1. I think I even ordered some jalapeno beef jerky. So check them out when you can, as we get ready to get under green flag here in just a moment. Neff Bledsoe, front row, is that. Hopefully that pace car gets off there. Yeah, get that Ford Mustang out of here. I don't want to see that. I want to see Brian Neff go ahead and get this one started here in Indianapolis. Remember what I said, 7 laps in this one here, Douglas. And this one should be a great one, seeing how that back row is already getting shuffled up.
That back row is definitely getting a little shuffled up. It looks like a couple of people were a little bit sleeping on the start, and it looks like one of those drivers being David Noble. It looks like getting loose a little bit, but oh, and it looks like we have a spinner here on the back straightaway, and that's actually Brian Neff, our pole sitter, who ended up spinning out.
Yeah, not a good one. Not a good look here for Brian Neff starting this one out. He's going to have a hard time getting started in the feature, seeing how everybody else is getting just about single file here, as Randy Bledsoe might drive away with this one. Followed closely by Brandon Murray. Taking a look here on the inside, the number 76 machine, working hard, but Randy Bledsoe seemed to have a solid line during practice. Taking a peek at that number 81 machine, he knows exactly where he needs to be, and he kind of runs about midway up the track, which is going to give him a great turn exit. As you can see, that pays dividends here as he flies to the front, trying to break the draft of the 76 to get him off his tail here as he leads the first lap of this race.
Most definitely, and you see Randy Bledsoe constantly going back and forth on the front straightaway. You would think that this is the Indy 500, because that's normally something you see those guys doing. So Randy Bledsoe trying to hold on to that number 1 spot, and looks like Brandon Murray will settle back in spot number 2. Daniel Holloway will be in spot number 3. Adam Robertson will be 4th, and settling back in spot number 5 looks like it will be Robert Lynch.
Candyman not looking to sit in the 3rd place for long. He's setting up pretty close here, trying to see if he can follow along there with Brandon Murray, who's just now taking the lead, but Adam Robertson folding that left door in ever so nicely in the new chrome paint scheme he is running here tonight, as this is now the battle for 3rd. Randy Bledsoe is going to be trying to chase down the lead once again, and this is looking pretty great. Actually really good, other than that spin out there on lap 1 here for the top 5 drivers: Bledsoe, Murray, Robertson, Holloway, Daniel Holloway, and Robert Lynch. I know we haven't talked a lot about Lynch, but he is kind of watching everything unfold in front of him, and I think he's probably waiting out the mistake, and there's the mistake he was looking for. Holy cow, Randy Bledsoe gets spun out here, facing backwards on the track. That's going to slam him dead last here, as he's going to be sitting 13th. Neff is going to be chasing him down, so will David Noble, and Brandon Murray got caught up in that as well. We did catch that as these guys were spinning out, and they will continue. Robertson into the front. Let's get up to Lynch, where Lynch is now sliding for the 2nd position. Douglas, this is awesome here so far this race.
It definitely is getting awesome, and unfortunately, from what we actually seen, even from Randy Bledsoe, and that, like you said, this is unfortunately going to be the case. I mean, some of the drivers are right now running on a couple of old tires, and that's unfortunately what Randy Bledsoe fell victim to, was that he ended up getting into the corner, I think, a little too hot and got loose. So him and Brian Neff are 2 drivers that are paying victims to the looseness of the track. But it looks like our top 4 right now are separated from the rest of the field, and it doesn't look like the traction's really affecting them all that much.
Yeah, we took a peek there in the back of the number 1 racing machine of Chris Akers. He ended up getting a little bit there during lap 3. He ended up spinning out as well. While we got a little bit of a lull here, we'll kind of take a peek at some of the issues that we saw here earlier in the race. This is Brian Neff. This is where he got loose on the inside of Randy Bledsoe. Just lost a little bit of that air. Man, glad it didn't catch anybody up in that. Another angle of Randy Bledsoe slinging through almost the same turn here. Bledsoe trying to hold on, and he unfortunately catches Murray, and Murray slides way up the track. Oof. Hard shot there, and here's Chris Akers. This is where Chris Akers gets a little bit loose. Looks like he rubbed that paint a little bit. Oh, no! Hits the safer barrier, and around he goes. So the number 1 machine, this is where we caught up to him right here, getting going again. Yikes. Yeah, all right, let's get back to the top 4 here. Adam Robertson, Daniel Holloway, Robert Lynch, Billy Stanley sitting 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stanley been able to stay out of a lot of trouble so far. He did start way back there in that 7th position. Working his way up. He's got a top 5 start here, but man, he's gonna see if he can try to run up, get close to some of these guys and use a little bit of that draft. But you know, here at Indy, you gotta weigh your options. Do we ride the draft and try to catch up, or do we try to stick that nose out there and get some clean air? Douglas, what's your take on that?
As of right now, I think it's just settling into your positions right now. I mean, you want to, when it comes to race time, you want to try and find as much clean air as possible, especially when it comes to these cars, because I think on these cars, the air duct really isn't that big, so these things are really capable of overheating. So I think it's going to be just depending on the, it's going to be nice to have draft tonight, but it's definitely going to be, I think clean air is definitely going to be taking a big part in this tonight.
Taking a look here, it looks like Adam Robertson fighting a little around, a little bit of lap traffic. Brandon Murray, who is actually running in that position he is at right now, unfortunately is going now a lap down here in the heat. He's going to be having some trouble, but at least he can run with some of the faster guys that he's been running with all night, so at least let's increase the practice time that he does have here in the heat before we get underway for the feature. Adam Robertson still leading this one. Daniel Holloway following closely behind. Looks like Robert Lynch is trying to see if he can sneak around the lap traffic here with Billy Stanley right behind him as the white flag comes out here for the heat. Battle for the lead here. Robertson outside. Daniel Holloway on the inside. Here they come shooting down between 1 and 2 here, taking a little peek at Adam Robertson, trying to see if he can clear him here, but he's not able to really squeak away. Here comes Holloway. Taking a look here at the Candyman. Douglas is looking excellent races. Holloway is closing the gap.
Daniel Holloway is definitely not giving him an inch of room down the back straightaway, and it looks like he might have the advantage with that inside line, as you can see. Robertson slips a little bit, not really much of grip up there, but Daniel Holloway, it looks like he has got the bottom locked in. He manages to get enough grip, and he will clear him down the front straightaway, so it looks like Daniel Holloway will be our heat winner for this.
Excellent pass there by Holloway. Robertson still under fire again by Robert Lynch. Lynch so close, and tells him he needs to head to the backup car. And Lynch says, you know what? I didn't like your paint on my car anyway either, so I go ahead and total his out as well. So Holloway, Robertson, and Lynch 1, 2, and 3. Stanley and sudden death up 10 positions, 15th to 5th. Not too bad. Richard Sudduth, he's not going to be one to sleep on tonight as long as he can stay clean. I think he's got a heck of a chance out here tonight to try at least do a little good out there at a super speedway track. So this 2.5-mile track is pretty interesting. You know, so you know, almost identical turns. Guys trying to finish in good areas, trying to figure out how to set up for these turns, and that's what we're seeing out of a lot of these drivers is just really where is placement, where is the best place that they can put themselves. And get out to a great start, because you see front of the field was okay, middle of the field was okay, and it's just, it seemed it was more of the driver, the car, and the track, not between driver and driver for any of the incidents we saw out here.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was not bad side-by-side racing from the drivers. It's definitely, I can already point out a couple of drivers we got to keep an eye on tonight doing some fantastic racing, but I think it's just about throttle control and making sure you can control the car, because as we've seen in the heat race, I mean, the traction is like somewhat not there during the track. So I think it's going to be really, really important just to maintain your traction and just keep your patience.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see if we can grab a couple of our drivers down at the bottom and see how they're doing here tonight. I know it's definitely looking pretty good here so far. Let me see if we can grab him here. Richard Sudduth, you got a copy out there?
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
There he is. Hey, man, dude, talk to me about the race here so far. You moved up 10 spots there in the heat. How's it going to look, you know, heading into the feature?
Oh, it's going to look just like that.
So stay, as long as you can stay out of trouble.
Yeah, as long as I can stay out of trouble, I plan on wrecking a lot of people tonight. You know, when we go in the curve, we go, They're gone. See,
No, no,
but
no, no, no.
I've did a couple Indy 500 races here, so I know this track pretty good. And I had some trouble at the start, didn't get to qualify. I had to reboot my computer real quick and just stay out of trouble and keep the car underneath you.
Well, that we're gonna have to see if that Victory Sim machine can make it up there. I know you, like you said, you've spent a lot of time out here. It's just gonna be trying to get that extra push there toward the end. I know there was some trouble out there on the track, and seeing that you guys have changed the car, we've changed the track and a little bit of the rules out here. What are you noticing is the big difference here? From earlier in the season to now.
Everybody's having fun.
All righty, man. Richard, give me your shout outs, my man.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to you, Patrick, and Simtrax Broadcasting. Y'all always do a great job for us. Victor Sim, 5-Star Beverages, Tommy D, and Beef Jerky Unlimited.
All right, Richard, appreciate it, man. Good luck to you tonight.
Later, brother.
All right, there's Richard Suddath, and we'll see if we can find a couple of our other drivers out there to give us a little bit of a shout out for what we've got lined up here for tonight. I would say Adam Robertson with a heck of a race out there, but I would like to see if I can get a hold of actually Randy Bledsoe. I would like to figure out the number 81 machine. Randy Bledsoe, you got a copy?
I do.
All righty, man. Well, I know it's going to be maybe a sore subject here, but talk to me about that heat race there, man. You guys were fast. You were in the right area, but that car just seemed to walk out right from under you.
I haven't stepped in this car in a very long time, so I'm trying to get my feet wet with it again. I just got a little greedy on the throttle. I saw Brandon was going to undercut me there. I tried to get a little too much out of it.
How are the aerodynamics here? All right, is it better to follow one by one, or is it better to kind of stick your nose out there and get some of that fresh air?
I really can't I can't feel no aerodynamics in this car. You would think you'd get a good suck up on somebody, a good pull, but it don't get loose tight. It's there.
Yeah, I did notice guys get single file. It didn't really, you guys didn't really close the gap, but I would say it did look like guys were getting a run a little bit right before the turns. So it almost maybe after that 175 mark, man, things actually start happening. But traction is really the hardest thing I'm noticing out here at the super speedway tracks that you guys are adding a good bit to in the schedule. Guys can find that out there at GRacelandShootoutSeries.com. But Randy, talk to me, man. We're back to the super late models. We're back to super speedways. Where do you go from here in the points chase?
Unfortunately, I have missed 2 or 3 races due to my work schedule, but I just show up and try to win every race, see where I stand in points there.
All right, well, I knew definitely in the super speedways you were the man to beat, but that's okay, man. Some of these other guys, they might miss a few races, and you'll be able to sling your way to the front. Some good consistency will work out. Randy Bledsoe, give me shout-outs here.
Just give a shout-out to all you fans. Graceland Shootout Series, 5-Star Beverage, everybody that puts a hand in this.
All right, appreciate it, Randy, and good luck to you tonight.
I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Yep. All righty, looks like, oh boy, happy anniversary to his wife, Amanda Holloway. That must be old Daniel out there, boy. I wish I had known that. I'd have done pulled him down here and we'd have talked to him. Dang. All right, well, looks like warm-up is kind of rounding up here. We'll see how Fireball Woody does out there. Robert Lynch, how he's going to hang in there, I don't know. A lot of these drivers are going to be trying a heck of a time trying to fight their way back to the front. But it's just going to be so difficult here, Douglas. And I don't know how these guys are going to, how they're going to kind of hang here. This track is so difficult in so many ways, and so many different turns can make or break the race for you here.
Most definitely, and like I said, I mean, a lot of things are going to play out tonight. Patience, strategies, all certain things that you can imagine when it comes to long racing like this on Indianapolis. So a lot of things to key in tonight, and like I said, a couple of notable drivers that we got to keep an eye on tonight, and to see how this goes tonight.
Alrighty, hold on. Pre-race prayer, my man.
Lord, we come to you tonight. We want to thank you for another day of life. This is the day the Lord has made. we will rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, thank you for these keyboard warriors who have gathered on the iRacing event tonight. I pray you'd be with them. I pray you'd deliver them from cramps and carpal tunnel. I pray you'd watch over them, Lord, whether all they've got's a little joystick to get them around or they got a full racing simulator. I pray it'd be a level playing field. I pray you'd help them tonight as a common man gets to go around the high banks of Daytona. Talladega gets to battle it out in the Coliseum at Bristol. Lord gets to get their Darlington stripe on this year. I pray you'd give them courage, give them nerves of steel, give them the line to put down the drive tonight. I pray you'd watch over them, give them horsepower under that hood, give them grip in those tires, and most of all, keep the wife and kids away while they're trying to play. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
All right, everybody, and we are back. And for the most famous words in NASCAR, we got the number 119 of David Cox. Let it rip, my man.
All right. Thanks for stopping out, fans. Gentlemen, start your engines.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting back to racing now. These guys are already rocking and rolling on the track. Let's go ahead and get to our starting lineup here for tonight and the starting grid. Daniel Holloway and Adam Robertson will be starting in row number 1. Robert Lynch, Billy Stanley, 3 and 4. Richard Sutton and Eric Blount starting row number 3. David Duke starting on the inside, row number 4, with Larry Fairman to the outside. Brian Neff starting 9th next to Fireball Woody. Top 10 start for him. David Cox will be 11th next to Brandon Murray. Very, very far back start for him as he was in the front there with obviously Randy Bledsoe, who's starting 13th. Chris Akers, who ended up spinning out, was 14th. And David Noble for our number 15th start. So 15 drivers out here onto the track as we are getting locked and loaded for the final remainder of this one. 50 laps is what we've got in store here tonight. 75% on fuel. And let's talk a little bit about the tire limit. That's going to be set at 2 down pits. But Adam Robertson and Daniel Holloway, here we go. Green flag is underway, and right now the Candyman already trying to squeak his nose out in front of Adam Robertson as he had a fantastic start there from the outside row. 28 machine there working on the 26 that's now down onto the floor. Oh man, Candyman's loose. Got somebody ricocheting off the wall back there. I think Larry Fairman might be in a little bit of trouble as he fires around Fireball Woody. He's the one who made contact there with the wall and ended up in a little bit of trouble. David Noble following up in the final back of the field. He's watching this race happen from the back. He's got a lot of work to do to fire up there. 14 positions he has to gain, but we're moving on through the rest of the field. 44, David Duke. He's the favorite to win here tonight, already moving up 2 positions, sitting 5th, trying to get around Richard Sutton, who swears he's going to take a few drivers out here tonight. So right now we are seeing the Victory Sim machine moving back outside the top 5, and so far unchanged for the most part here in the top 5 as Adam Robertson takes the lead, and Daniel Holloway is now going to follow the leader here, sitting in 2nd. Robert Lynch, of course, in 3rd, and Billy Stanley 4th. David Duke doing a fantastic job moving up 2 positions into 5th. So right now, a little bit of trouble here early on in the race. And Douglas, this looks like there might be some trouble back here. We're in that Richard Sutton area.
It definitely looks like a little bit of trouble as it looks like Richard is trying to gain control of the car as much as he can, but it looks like he manages to control it, so he's going side by side with Eric Blount, it looks like, for the number 6 slot, it looks like. But I can tell you right now, a guy that I'm keeping an eye on right now is the guy in that 81 car, and that is Randy Bledsoe.
Oh,
Randy
look out!
Started in spot number 13, and we got trouble.
Robert Lynch is around. Yeah, I was just keeping my eye there on that 81 machine. Fantastic moves he's been making, almost passing just about half the field already. But first caution is out here for the night there. Robert Lynch already in a little bit of trouble here on lap number 2. That 21 machine not looking too sharp here on the run. Look outside, Safer Barry got him. So I guess that car just didn't want to rotate for him. Boy, look at David Cox dodge. Man, that was close.
I'm pretty sure he had the sweat taken off of him right there. Got a little bit of a scare.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can find a little bit here. Taking a ride along here with Brandon Murray. Man. Yeah, Murray already in some trouble there for the heat, and he's just trying to see if he can survive this one to the end. He's got a lot of work to do. Already up 7 positions is Randy Bledsoe. Neff has moved up a couple after his little scuffle he had there in the heat. And it's interesting to notice here, Douglas, as I would almost note that we didn't invert the feature, but the guys that are fast are the ones who ended up spinning out in the heat, which has now inverted the field and put all the fast guys in the back, too.
Well, that's even like I said at the beginning of the race. I mean, there's going to be parts of the track where the traction really isn't all too there, and you're going to see drivers either getting tight or loose. As we've seen with Robert Lynch, he ended up getting tight, and so it looks like he's going to have a little bit of work to do. But I can tell you right now, it looks like a little bit of strategy is going on, as it looks like Daniel Holloway's going down pit road.
Yeah, Daniel Holloway will be joined by Chris Akers, David Cox, and Robert Lynch. So a few other drivers, 4 in total, actually coming down pit road. And a little interesting strategy here. I do want to keep an eye and see what his strategy is going to be. If this is going to be a top off and go, if he made a little nudge here, if there was some trouble. And it looks like a quick stop for him back out. Hey, I guarantee there's going to be some repairs here on the 21 machine. 119 to David Cox, a little bit of trouble here. And it's just kind of unfortunate here, but I know we're going to see if we can grab a hold of the guy who was involved here in the caution. I know it definitely gets a pretty sketchy situation here, but let's see if we can grab a hold of Robert Lynch. Robert, you got a copy?
I do. How we do, Patrick? How are you?
Doing all right, my man. So, talk to me. This car just is not one to rotate out here for you tonight, and that safer barrier has come out and bitten a few drivers here tonight, and it's taken you.
Yeah. Also, I think it was just everything. The air, I felt like the back end of my car I had no traction at all of a sudden. And then the front of my car just started sliding upwards. And it's like, I know Billy was coming, he had a heck of a run coming up behind me. And then he got, I'm not sure if I lost because of air or what. I don't know what the heck happened. All I know is it just felt super light and I just had no control of the car. It just went up to the wall.
Man, that's not easy, man. And it's going to be so hard because if you yank the wheel down trying to straighten it, then you are going to lose the back end, and that could have resulted in even more trouble. But this is going to start you here from the back, kind of that back row here, Robert. How do we find our way back up to the front, and see if we can get through all these guys?
Well, I got a pretty good line here tonight. I'm pretty fast, so I just got to work my way up through there and just be patient. Because there's some probably that haven't practiced enough here. So, and plus the car is touchy. If you get too close, you can, the air dam between the two cars, and you definitely cannot bump draft here because if you do, you're going to turn somebody. So, it's going to be, touch and go here, bud.
All right, man. Well, I'm hoping everybody's going to kind of reconsider this being kind of that throwback to the old school with you guys being back in the super late models. But Robert Lynch, give me your shout-outs here, man. I think we got a couple more straightaway and a couple more turns before we send you back green.
All right, buddy. Yeah, just AK Racing, my family racing team here, and of course Simtrax Broadcasting, and Beef Jerky there for the pole position award there, and then of course our main sponsor, 5 Star Beverages, for supporting the whole thing there. And of course, Performance Distributors, we give the shout out to Billy and his team right there, the Performance Distributors and Hound Dog Racing. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Careful, watch out for the number 5 there. David Noble looks like he's trying to fold Fireball Woody up. Be careful. All right, well, let's get Robert Lynch out of here. I know he wants to keep jaw-jacking with me, but we better make sure he keeps his eyes on the road right now. David Noble looks like he's trying to fold up the 9. We saw him kind of bump him there a little bit. I know the incident limit, they better be a little bit more careful out there, but we had a little chat there, Douglas, and man, he's pretty cool about it. He doesn't seem to sweat it too much, seeing how this race is going to go, with these caution laps actually tacking down now, and they are being counted.
Most definitely, and looks like Well, we were actually talking to Robert Lynch. It looks like Daniel Holloway actually came back down pit road along with Chris Akers, probably just to chop off that fuel, just to get a couple more laps in. So we can definitely see that those two drivers are on a strategy call.
Yeah, 100%. As we get back under green, we do want to note that you are correct. Both of them did come down pit. Both of them are about that 5.5 to 6 second range. So a quick fuel and go. Now, speaking of somebody who is going right now, David Duke in the number 44 machine is up 5 positions, taking away second place, which looked like it had been secured by Billy Stanley, but it is not. Adam Robinson's running away with this one. Duke will be in tow. Randy Bledsoe and Billy Stanley going at it. Hopefully a couple of Hound Dog drivers out there are not going to take each other out, because this is going to be close. Billy Stanley is not one to let too many positions go by here. That 81 machine is going to slide right in front of him here and battle for the lead here, Douglas. What is it going to look like out there heading out, coming out of turn 4?
Coming out of turn 4, it looks like David Duke does have a little bit of the edge ahead of Adam Robertson, but Robertson's trying not to let him get away as they're going side by side, currently crossing the start-finish line. Going down into turn number 1, it looks like Robertson not letting off an ounce bit, gets a little bit of the run, but it looks like the grip is going to pay dividends for Duke, as it looks like Duke will slide in front of Adam Robertson. So now David Duke are getting race lead.
Yeah, it will look pretty sketchy there, especially with Randy Bledsoe coming up. I did notice when that 81 slid behind Adam Robertson there, it loosened him up. So there may be a huge aerodynamic issue with the two of these guys going at it, kind of looking from the back. That the rear downforce is key here tonight. So when somebody slides in behind you, you've got to be prepared to lose all traction there in the rear. And I think Adam Robertson gives a little kiss to that wall. He's not going to be happy with a little bit of damage there to the side. But boy, you definitely don't want to spoil him. Buck, taking a look here, Brian Neff looks like he was going to pit unintentionally there. I think somebody was trying to make the choice for him, but he saves it before he heads down pit road and the commitment cone. So Brian Neff, who was battling there for 4th position, kicked down again. 4 more positions down to 8th. So, man, Douglas, when you're getting kicked around out here, man, how do you pick yourself back up and charge forward?
It's keeping your patience and following your line. That's pretty much all you just got to do. And as we've seen right there, and when we actually seen it, it looks like Brian Neff, he actually got a little bit tight and came up into Randy Bledsoe, where the two of them made contact, and it looked like Neff was just along for the ride, as it was a nice save. And it looks like right now we got a battle for the number 4 spot between Brandon Murray and Eric Blount, as they're right now going side by side. Actually, make that spot number 5, excuse me. For it looks like down the back straightaway, both of them ain't giving an edge. So good battle going on for spot number 5.
Oh yeah, a little nudge out there for that 7th position there as well for Richard Suddeth. I believe Adam Robertson's up here duking it out with the Duke, David Duke that is, in the 44 machine. The 28 sticks his nose out there, and he's got the position. He must be working there with Randy Bledsoe, seeing if he can get a 1-2 punch. Both of these guys season winners previously in the seasons. Season 1 and Season 2 here. Right now racing side by side. We are 3 wide heading into 3. He goes, Adam Robertson checks up, lets Bledsoe go through. Huge check up there by Robertson, and Billy Stanley sees it. Fortunately, no one gets folded up here, but it looks like Randy Bledsoe is getting ready to pass almost the entire field here, as he only has 1 more position to gain to get the lead. Oh boy, Robertson. Ooh. Boy, he looked like he had a Brian Neff moment, not looking good. Robertson having to collect it back together, still remains in the top 5. But let's keep an eye here on Bledsoe as he's trying to put some work here on the number 44 of David Duke. So right now, Hound Dog Racing sitting 2nd and 3rd out here on the track. Right now doing a fantastic job in Indianapolis. Does not seem to be really a big problem for those two drivers.
No, most definitely. And like we heard from Robert Lynch, we definitely know that this car is very, very touchy, and that's when it's coming to throttle. So a lot of these drivers got to maintain their throttle control going into the corners, as it looks like one of the slightest mistakes can end up making these cars go for a loop. So a lot of these guys just got to plan their entry and exits all well.
Oh yeah, a little bit of an update there. Larry Fairman has taken it to the garage. Unfortunately, he was able to get about a lap or 2 in, and I think he may have had some mechanical problems. So back to the garage for the number 11. Hopefully we will see him return next race. Douglas, where are we next race? I believe we're off next week, but then we're going somewhere new.
Yes, the week after that, it will be a fun race at Watkins Glen, but we will not be live broadcasted for that race, I believe. But the following week after that, as the schedule says, we will be going to the Chicagoland Speedway for the following week after that. So that should be a very interesting one, too.
Leaving the 2.5-mile super speedway and back into the 1.5-mile cookie cutters. That should be a great race. But right now, we are keeping an eye on a great race here for first place. Right now, Bledsoe and Duke has been going at it while we've been jaw-jacking up here. As right now, we got guys sliding all over the place. And it seems to be the treacherous turn 3 and 4. These guys are having a heck of a time here. Bledsoe is drifting this thing around 4 as he's got a huge run. This might be another attack here for the lead. It looks like Billy Stanley is trying to push him along here. Is he going to have enough speed? Let's take a little ride along here with Billy Stanley, taking a look forward here. Right now, at the two of them going at it. Duke is getting loose. Right now, that was assisted there by Randy Bledsoe. Bumps him out of the way. Fantastic move here, and Duke holding it together. But somebody else who's still drifting around the track is Adam Robertson, who has now got third place under fire, and Brian Neff trying to come back from the back. He was originally now 8th, back up to 5th. So far, he's trying to see if he can work his way back into a top 3. So right now, this top clutch of cars, this is looking fantastic right now. I think this car change here, and maybe moving to these super speedways, these guys may feel a little more comfortable. But somebody who's not feeling comfortable is Adam Robertson, as I guarantee you, he's going to need a chiropractor after that hit.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it looks like it may have looked like that David Duke may have came down just the slightest bit and got the slightest bit of back bumper from Adam Robertson. So that is a tough break for Adam Robertson. I do believe that is going to be a fast repair for him. And it also looks like David Duke may have ridden the wall a little bit, but I think he managed to get away with it a little bit damage-free, but it looks like that right front fender may be a little damaged for David Duke.
Yeah, not looking too good. Yeah, it does look like Adam Robertson took the worst of it here. I hate to see that for him. Let's see if we can take a quick peek at what happened here. Oh, man, Robertson is in it. Oh, little nudge. Boom. Man. Boy, give it to the other drivers for avoiding that one. That was awesome. Let's see if we can grab another angle of this run here. Taking a ride along here with Richard Sutton. Here's the contact up front. Wow. Hey, there's that right front damage from David Duke. Holy cow, boy, he took a shot to the wall after that one. I don't think he was able to recover. Holy cow, what a shot. Kind of see if some of these other drivers are considering going back out there. I'm showing David Noble might have just had some trouble there. Take another angle.
Well, big time strategy taking play right now for pit road.
Wow. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah. Interesting enough to see the drivers who decided to stay out and all drivers who have decided not to pit yet. Randy Bledsoe, Brian Neff, Brandon Murray, Eric Blount, and Fireball Woody. Fireball Woody is yet to pit so far. So that's going to move him to a top 5 start here. And we'll see how everybody else fares here. Right now, David Noble being the last to come down pit road here. A couple of drivers looking to gun it on out of there. The Candyman will be first. Chris Akers 7th. Well, Daniel Holloway won't be first. He'll be first out of pit road. He'll be 6th. Adam Robertson sitting 8th. Richard Sutton 9th. David Duke is 10th. Billy Stanley coming out with 11th place. Looks like Robert Lynch. And we're still holding on David Cox. There he is. Here comes the number 119, and David Noble still down pit. Look like he's trying to square that thing away one more time and get him back out there. Let's see if we can get this one going here. Trying to keep his tires warmed up as Brandon Murray's. We're taking a peek at him here. Let's see if we can grab Adam Robertson. I know he might be a little wound up, but we'll see if we can grab a hold of him. Adam Robertson, this race has its highs and has its lows. Talk to me about kind of right here. With the two of you guys coming in contact.
I don't think it's on purpose. I think he was just trying to stay tight on me so he can get a run off the corner. But he said it's behind, lost a fast repair right there. But I I think we're still all right. It's really anybody's race when they get the right runs, in the right position.
Yeah, well, from our angle, it looked like you got one heck of a run there on the inside. Maybe moved up about half a car length, and he started getting maybe that outside line speed, and that just paid off. But man, what a huge run this is, and this race is kind of chalking up to be pretty good. We're getting some solid green flag laps here. I will admit, did have a caution back there on lap 2, and then we made it all the way to 13 before any trouble really kind of came out here. But how do we, is there anybody out there just saying, man, pushing's working, or side, this guy won't take the air off my rear spoiler so I can survive out here tonight?
I did get the lead on the outside, so you can go and really think my opinion of that's probably not valid, but I think if I can get in the right spot and get in the right time, I never really tried to block when I was in the lead. It's way too many laps to go, and it's give and take to get to the last 10, hopefully have a set of tires left, because I didn't take none right then.
Well, Randy Bledsoe, he has fought his way all the way up from 13th and is now leading this race. Adam Robertson, give me your shout-outs here, man. We're about to go green.
Well, just in case I don't get back up there, I thank 5 Star Beverages for sponsoring the league, Beef Jerky Unlimited for the Polo Award, and Performance Distributors for our Hard Charger Award at the end of the year, and all the fans watching out there. We got about 35 to go. We got plenty of time to keep giving you a good show.
Oh, absolutely, man. Plenty of time. Adam Robertson, good luck to you, my man.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, there is Adam Robertson. We are about to go back green. Definitely, I've got to admit, Douglas, we are seeing Jeff Napier out there giving us a whole bunch out there. Yeah, Jeff, right? Jeff? Yeah, Jeff. James Napier. Damn. I'll get this eventually. And number 7 is oh so elusive. It says Napier 2503 says gotta save the tires. And hopefully he'll be here next Tuesday. I hope so as well. Definitely missed your home track here, buddy. So we're going to see that Ford Mustang get away here. And you know what, Douglas? Go ahead and take this one away, man. We are about to go back under green.
Thank you. And it looks like the pace car will go out, and it looks like everybody's hard on the throttles. It looks like Brian Neff got a really big jump on the start. It looks like he's going to try and get the edge off of Randy Bledsoe. But once again, I think Brian Neff may have the speed, as it looks like he's making that outside line stick, or maybe even the tires have heated up enough where he can get some grip. But Bledsoe right now on the inside line, still making it stick as they're going side by side for spot number 1. Following back in spot number 3, it looks like Brandon Murray wants a piece of this action too aboard the 76. And right behind him, not too far away, is Daniel Holloway. And trying to fight back after that wreck was Adam Robertson in the 28. So it looks like some of our regulars that got involved in that wreck, they're trying to come back for more fun. Adam Robertson, he does not quit.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at that. Adam Robertson doing a fantastic job. Candyman has to shuffle back to 6, but this is looking a lot of familiarity there that we are seeing from the heat race. Right now, Bledsoe, Neff, and Murray, these guys have all been caught up in some trouble there during the heat. So Brian Neff still holding this outside line. He has yet to take tires, and neither has Bledsoe. Bledsoe hasn't taken any tires either. So right now, we are seeing the top 3 drivers who have not taken tires out there. And we talked to Robertson, and he didn't take tires. So we got to keep an eye out there of who's on the right tires and who's on good tires, as we are trying to separate almost 3 wide. Robertson goes down there and touches the paint, trying to see if he can break the draft or get something undone here, as Brandon Murray is sliding way to the outside. That's going to be a perfect time for Robertson to attack your inside line for him. But I think Bledsoe's starting to loosen up with Brian Neff on the inside.
It's most definitely. Oh, and it looks like Brian Neff getting a little bit loose. Oh, and he is in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Neff rotated up and caught Brandon Murray. Hats off to Brandon Murray for saving that one, and they collected the entire field here. I've got to admit, check out Fireball Woody. Oh, no. He was just kind of flossing through the whole field. Somebody backed up into him. It looked like the number 9 was going to get out there like, and they unscathed, but unfortunately, he would not get away. Let's take a look at Brian Neff here again. That was definitely a wicked spin here. I would probably say this might be a fingers pointed here, because the rotation up into Murray and slamming him into the wall here is kind of what continued this roll. I think everybody else had survived, but the ricochet into Adam Robertson, into Daniel Holloway, And what you've done is created a roadblock. Billy Stanley's got nowhere to go except push Daniel Holloway out of the way. Boy, caught the 62. Eric Blount trying to squeeze out of there.
I tell you what, even though Adam Robertson has got to be probably not a happy camper right now, because on the last caution he did use a fast repair. It looks like he will be using his second one this time, which means he'll be all out. Oh! Looks like a little spin out there from Fireball. Well, oh my God, Adam Robertson, even under caution, he's still getting collected.
What? Man, we're in the middle of a replay. He's getting hammered around still?
Oh my God, he got hammered by Fireball Woody at first, and then he came up the track and got hammered by Robert Lynch.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta see that. Oh, what in the world? All right, yeah, no. All right, here we go. This is during caution. The brakes! Oh my gosh. Adam Robertson, boy. Yeah, when you see that right there, that is not a happy camper. Holy cow, he might have been able to survive some of this, some of that spin out, but I don't know if he's going to be able to not come in. Boy, look at the front end of that machine. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. I believe he is probably down pit. Fireball Woody working his day down pit now. Adam Robertson still getting squared away here.
To tell you what, though, while we have the time, one driver I would like to have a chat with, if you don't mind, is Billy Stanley.
Absolutely, buddy. Bring him down and talk to him. We got to know what his take is on some of this race.
Sure, absolutely. If you don't mind dragging Billy down.
Absolutely, man. I got you.
Hey, Billy Stanley, you got a copy?
Yeah. What's up?
Let me tell you, man, a lot of side-by-side racing going on so far. I mean, we're only 19 laps in, and it looks like a lot of these drivers aren't giving each other an inch, especially with the top six constantly going side-by-side. Tell us, what's your perspective going on so far with this race?
Just a lot of hard racing. I mean, that's to be expected. This track kind of evens everybody out. I mean, if you notice, nobody's really pulling away from anybody. You know, it's just tight racing, and that's what happens. I mean, it's like ice right here today, so that doesn't help any either.
Most definitely. And, I mean, it definitely looks like making the switch to this car definitely looks like the side-by-side racing has definitely gotten better along with it getting faster. I mean, was that like one of the perspectives when it came to this switch? Was that the side-by-side racing was better, or what was it?
Well, we decided to switch over because the race, there was a lot more racing than there was cautions. So that we went back to these cars on the bigger tracks, and, you know, it's a lot more fun for everybody.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, it looks like the lights are out on the pace car. Why don't you give us your shout-outs?
I'd like to say thank you to my sponsor, Performance Distributors, and thanks 5 Star Beverage for sponsoring the league. And for Beef Jerky Unlimited for the Pole Award, and thank all the fans for tuning in, and thank Simtrax for broadcasting our races. You guys are making us look good.
All right, and that is Billy Stanley, guys. We'll get you back in there with your teammates and your friends there, and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and that was Billy Stanley. It looks like this time he will be restarting back in spot number 5 after that cycle of pit stops by everybody. And it looks like we're going to get this back underway, Patrick. What do you think?
Looking pretty exciting here. What I want to also keep in mind out for is Chris Akers. Now, I know we haven't talked about it much, but I'm interested to see if that Darren & Sons is a possibility here. $50 to the guy who starts in the extreme back and fights his way to the front for the win. I believe he started all the way back in that final spot there. He's got some work to do to see if he can get up there. Randy Bledsoe, he's up 12 with his area, with his, right now, his position. But right now, Chris Akers is up 10. So, boy, he's going to be the next one on the list. I love seeing the 119 of David Cox here in the front. That should be a great turnout here. So let's see if that Hellcat machine can get going on. we are back under green. David Duke trying to already take advantage here of David Cox for the inside line. Neff shuffling there in the back. You see him there in the Winn-Dixie machine. So already single file 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get back here to the Candyman, who's battling next to Hound Dog Racing driver Billy Stanley, who we just talked with. So already big time moves by a lot of these drivers out there, and I'm interested to see that the only driver who's yet to pit is Randy Bledsoe, and he is the one who's leading this race.
Yes, most definitely. And Randy Bledsoe may be the one on the oldest tires, but with heat getting into those tires, the car should definitely be handling a lot better than some of those on fresh tires. So that's one advantage that Randy Bledsoe would have. But with the other tires, like getting the heat into them, Randy Bledsoe's tires are sooner or later going to go. As we can see right here, I think David Duke is one of those people who are on the freshest tires, and we can see right there just getting into those corners. David Duke right now has the big advantage as he now claims spot number 1.
Now, I've got to admit, if David Duke did take tires, unfortunately his last pit stop was 6.5 seconds, as we are back under caution. If he did take tires, right now Randy Bledsoe would then, I believe, have the leg up here with an extra set sitting down pit. So I think Robert Lynch has been collected in this, and Richard Suddeth as well. Definitely a couple of drivers trying to piece this race back together. This is getting so difficult out here.
I'm definitely viewing the replay right now.
Yeah, let's take a quick little look here. I knew there was a little stack up there between 3 and 4. Contact between Neff. Oh!
Ooh.
Rotating back. It looked like Lynch might have caught Suddeth up there. Suddeth might have backed it up just a hair. Wow. All right, let me see if we can get another angle of that. Wow, that's
really hard to. It's really hard to tell whether if Suddeth was off the throttle really early or just Robert Lynch came in too hot.
Yeah. Lynch had a heck of a run here. He came in about 3 or 4 miles an hour faster, and that 95 machine just wasn't moving as fast as he had hoped. I think the insult to injury is when the 95 ricocheted off the wall, the 21 got caught. Got caught again, so boy, I hate to see that. And Suddeth gives him another lick. Boy, man. All right. These two drivers, let them finish giving everybody a good earful here. Boy, that's interesting. I'm interested to see Randy Bledsoe is still not coming in, as we are almost reaching that halfway point. That could be a big time move here. Let's talk to the Candyman. I got to talk to the Candyman because I think we may have missed our opportunity here. Let's see if we can grab a hold of number 26. Daniel Holloway, I assume you're not pitting here.
No, I'm not.
All right, well, I didn't want to block you up if you decided to come down pit. Man, you got way loose there in that last little stint. You know, this car is not one to stick to the track for you here tonight.
If you don't hit your mark, she's gonna drift up there. But I was actually trying to avoid not hitting somebody and giving somebody some room there. But she's fast. If you get in a rhythm here, she's fast. That first caution where I pitted to get fuel to get a little advantage and hopefully went green all the way. I was gaining time on that lead pack car, so it was just a matter of time. So now. But I got my teammate up here in second, and I'm sitting in third, and we need to go green here. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, Barbara Wright out here on Facebook is saying this is a hard track. Would you agree, or is this kind of one of the kind of a layup here for you?
It can be, because the groove, you don't want to be too high on this, or you're going to go up against the wall and smack the car. So it's just kind of like an Indy car. You got to get in that one groove, especially coming out of the turns to set up for that next turn. But it can be tricky, but it could be fun once you hit your marks and everything.
All right, Daniel Holloway. Go in and give me your shout-outs, and don't forget your wife this time.
Well, today's our third anniversary, so I want to shout out to her. Love you very much. Thank you for letting me race each night when I do here in a few nights, and maybe I pull this victory. I got the pole, won the heat race, and let's see if I can do a sweep here tonight. And everybody out there that's watching, Simtrax, unlimited beef jerky, 5-star beverage, Speed Week, Performance Distribution Center. Gosh, there's so many more I can't think of at the moment. GRaceland, Billy for this league and everything. So.
Daniel Holloway, I love the way you say that, my man. Take it easy and try to be safe out there.
Thank you. I got this Tennessee Vols guy in front of me, so let me see what I can do.
he's a toughie. Good luck.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, everybody, that is Daniel Holloway there. Getting, he'll be starting here in that third, fourth position here with Billy Stanley starting next to him. Do want to give a shout out here once again to 5-Star Beverages since we're breaking over that halfway point. 5-Star Beverages can make your drinks come true. 5-Star Beverages can design your drink systems, and they can work with everything from beer, soda, coffee, and tea. They do sales, service, and installs, and they are your beverage system specialist. They can do anything you can drink of, too. On tap, fountain machines, coffee machines, bubblers for tea, and slushies. Check them out at 5starbeverages.com. We are getting ready to get back under green here. Douglas, David Duke, Chris Akers, front line. Talk to me here right when we head into the turn.
Definitely heading into the turn, we might see side-by-side racing like as usual because nobody really pit. And speaking of pit, while we were actually talking to Daniel Holloway, we actually were talking about Randy Bledsoe on how he did not pit yet. Well, he actually did come down pit road, and he did get some fresh tires and probably filled that thing up with fuel. So Randy Bledsoe is definitely the one that's going to be on one of the freshest tires and definitely on the get-to-go.
Excellent time to be coming down and getting tires and fuel. He'll be able to squeeze away all the way to the end. Already somebody out there is saying, we have one crash, spend the night in the box, have 2 crashes, spend the week in the box. There ain't going to be no third crash. Definitely we got a few other things happening out here, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I know we're getting a few cautions here. 4. I know our record's normally been about 8 cautions in the first 25 to 20 laps, but we're down to 4 and 25 laps left to go as we get back under green. David Duke and Chris Akers sitting 1 and 2. Right now, Chris Akers is kind of gambling out there on the outside line as he tries to take on the Duke in the 44 machine. Up 12 positions. Both these guys have moved up a substantial amount of cars. But right now, I'm waiting to see where Daniel Holloway goes. Does the Candyman get it in the front, or is he going to help his teammate out? As a little shuffling there in the back. David Noble out there, kind of in a different galaxy out there as he's coming out of turn 2 as these guys are shooting down the backstretch. David Duke in front, Chris Akers sitting second, and Daniel Holloway is third. Right now, I'm waiting to see if Adam Robertson, 4th position, is going to make a little move here. But Douglas, we are watching the number 1 of Chris Akers taking on the Duke here as he slides to the inside. Speaking of slide, look at the back.
And it looks like another caution in the back. It looks like that'll be Fireball Woody getting collected in something. Looks like he may have had contact with the 119 of David Cox. And it looks like Brian Neff was also involved in that incident as well.
Yeah, Brian Neff is getting ready to turn into Brian Nerf here in a second. Boy, that boy can't get anywhere out of here. Boy, what? Hold on. What just happened? Brian Neff came here on the inside, and I'm trying to see if the 119 is already sliding first. Now it looks like everybody's kind of moving a good bit here.
It looks like Fireball Woody may have came down on David Cox, and as they were spinning, Brian Neff just had nowhere to go.
It makes you wonder. When you see something like this, and kind of in Brian Neff's defense here, when he sees this kind of thing happen, let's see if we can take a look along here with Brian Neff and see does he even see it happen? Yeah, kind of half speed. Nope, and then the car just turns. I mean, it's not like he could see ahead and say, "Oh, yep, somebody's spinning out." There's no way to know. I mean, he sees half a car, and then all of a sudden he's sliding in front of you. So that is detrimental to Brian Neff's race here. I would love to have a conversation with him, but boy, Oh,
I can also tell you right now, also viewing the replay, I think it could have even been avoidable because I've also been watching Brian Neff's car. I've also been watching the 60 of Eric Blount. For some reason, it looks like as soon as Blount was going past Neff, it all of a sudden looks like Brian Neff's car just jerks left after Eric Blount just passes by. So I think Brian Neff may have also been an incident of a netcode incident.
Oh, even at the beginning, so a little insult to injury. Or 69 looked like he may have stayed okay. Yep, and it nicks him, but it but it takes the 119 as well. Look at that net code. What, man? Good look, man. I like that. I like that. Good look. So look how he avoids, spins Neff, and then I think it turns David Cox as well. Yeah, it's kind of sinks the 119. Wow. Dude.
And you see the net code. Eric Blount wasn't even anywhere near him. That was a really bad net code.
Yeah, I wonder if Blount's got any damage to the front nose of that machine.
No, looks like he's pretty good on his end.
Yeah, with that sponsor on the hood.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back here. All right, as the drivers come down pit and they're gonna try to fix these things up a little bit. Brandon Murray, he's all the way back there in 13th. No, he spent a good bit amount of time trying to get that 76 squared away. I wonder. David Duke, Chris Akers here in the front row. I bet you Chris kind of hoped this one would stay under green for a little bit longer there, or that way he would have an attempt to try to overcome this. Let's see if we can grab a hold of Brandon Murray. I know we haven't talked to him. Let's see if we can grab him. Hopefully he's in good spirits here. Brandon Murray. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How's it going on?
All right, man. This track, easy for some, hard for others. Man, you have been one of the faster guys out here on the track. Talk to me kind of, how do we fight our way up to the front? Because you matched the best time out there with Chris Akers. Yeah, you're back here in 13th, my man.
Yeah, just got to be careful. Make sure that we're not pushing the car on exit. A lot of people get loose, so got to be mindful of that. I had an issue with that in the heat race, so just slow and steady, work our way through here, passing cars. It's kind of hard to pass. You got to get the run and time it right, and if you don't, you're in trouble. So just slow, steady, smooth, methodical.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of drivers in front of you now. I mean, you've got Richard Suddeth, you've got Fireball Woody in front of you. You've got Billy Stanley hanging up there in that 5th, 6th position. I mean, how do we get through, man? I just don't know. Is there anybody that you say, hey, I know I can follow this guy and fight my way through this field?
The 21's pretty strong, so if he gets out in front of me, I can probably follow him through a lot of this. Getting up there and racing with the guys up front, they're really, really good. So just got to get up there and give it my all and just see what we can walk away with.
All righty, man. Well, you guys have been magnets of some wrecks here tonight. Hopefully opposites will attract. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs here.
The league putting on this great show. You guys for an awesome broadcast. All the league sponsors for helping the admins put this thing together.
All right, Brandon Murray, appreciate you, my man, and we'll see how you fare after this one.
Yeah, hopefully I'm talking to you here in about 30 laps or so.
Oh yeah, take it easy.
Have a good one.
That's Brandon Murray. I think everybody's my man here tonight. All right, Douglas, this is going to be a great race here. I'm hoping we'll get a green flag stretch here. As we can see, it looks like Fireball Woody kind of sticking his nose out here to the side. If I'm not mistaken, I think Fireball Woody and David Duke have the same paint. Look at that.
Close.
All right, let's get back underway here. We'll take a peek at that. Fireball Woody trying to get out of the way. He's tumbling around there in the back. I think he's down in the grass. Uh-oh. Okay, no caution. Whew.
Yeah, I want to say that's going to stay green.
Yeah, we are staying green here. Number 1 at Chris Akers getting boxed in here. Candyman trying to work on it here. Trying to see if he can follow along. He's riding the draft there from David Duke, trying to get a little clean air, but David Duke is about to be under fire by both Daniel Holloway and Chris Akers. He's enjoying watching them riding side by side as he's able to scurry away with all the fresh air here in the front. Chris Akers having to dial on out, and Robertson knows exactly where the right front of his car is, and Richard Suddeth. No. Boy, Brandon Murray, he's going to say that one's my fault. Oh, boy. Yeah, the engine's blown on that one. Yuck. 6 cautions here, 20 laps left to go.
Actually, Patrick, I can sit here and tell you right now, after watching the replay, that actually wasn't Brandon Murray's fault. That was a netcode incident.
God.
Gotta love the netcode.
But, man, it was so bad. Let's take another look at it here. Boy, we got a great angle right here. Taking a look, chopper view. Yep. You know, and what's kind of funny is that netcode is exactly the same spot where we saw Blount shoot through and everybody started getting turned around.
It definitely looked like nothing on Brandon Murray's fault. It looks like he was definitely clear of him. It was just the netcode just took effect.
Man, oh man. Trying to see if Robert Lynch makes it through this one. I think the C's part just in time for him to squeak on through. Let's see if we can ride along here with Robert Lynch here. This is starting to become even a little harder. Ooh. Here we go. Ooh. Awesome. Robert Lynch. Hate it. Alrighty. Yep. Laps are ticking down, but a lot slower than we expected here, Douglas. And I know a lot of drivers kind of getting the itch here, man. They want to start getting under green, start racing here. And I've got to, and I started thinking, Randy Bledsoe did take fuel and tires there at that mid-race point. The more cautions, this is really actually working against him here. If fuel mileage was going to be a problem for others, this is not really playing to his favor.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to play to his favor, especially if we have too many cautions. Because as of right now, with the strategy that I think that is currently on right now, I think Billy Stanley said that, I forget, it might have not been Billy. I remember somebody said that I think with this, I think the cars are on like a 30-lap strategy when it comes to fuel. I think that's the amount they could take is 30 laps. So at the time that he pit, I would say that Randy Bledsoe, I would say, is probably about 4 or 5 laps to the good, depending on how many cautions we get. So, but I don't think Randy wants to see that many more, because then the laps are really going to be dwindling down on fuel.
Yeah, Randy Bledsoe and Eric Blount both pit on lap 23. What we're kind of pointing out is David Duke, Holloway, and Chris Akers. These guys pit on lap 18. Now, they came down, some with tires, some without tires, but that fuel mileage, what we're talking about here is they're not using as much fuel, and only 0.2 of a gallon may not seem like a lot, but per caution lap, I mean, the guys in the front are now, with the amount of cautions that we've had, are now able to stretch out almost another gallon and a half. That may be able to save these drivers about another four laps, which Randy Bledsoe may have been gambling on, that these guys will run out of fuel, and as they come down to pit, he's going to drive away with the win on this one, or Eric Blount. But seeing how many cautions we've been under now, this may have foiled his plan as the drivers get double stacked again to get this one back underway. They can only hope to get a good green flag stretch to get out in front now. So now he's actually going to have to race them out instead of outthink them here for pit road. So I kind of like the strategy there by Bledsoe. I'm glad he was able to return back to the top 5. But man, he's got a lot of work in front of him. David Duke has been on a tear here. Daniel Holloway is going to be looking to see if he can pass that number 44 machine, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to see him push here to the front and kind of figure out how these guys are going to sort each other out. I mean, one little touch here. I mean, if Chris Akers makes contact with Robertson or Duke the wrong way, I mean, this could wipe out the entire field. But we're all going to pray that doesn't happen, and hope for a green flag run here, Douglas.
I definitely don't want that to happen with the whole field getting collected. I want to see this thing go green flag the rest of the way, because definitely you can't count anybody out in the I think at least the top 6, you can't count anybody out. Well, top 7 if you even include Billy Stanley, who definitely has been peeking his nose into the action every single time.
Yeah. Fortunately, he's been able to stay out of just about 98% of the trouble out there. You know, it's looking really, really good for him. And right now, he's got good company around him. Eric Blountz hasn't seemed to really be causing any problems out here tonight. He's got Randy Bledsoe sitting in front of him. And right now, I mean, if you think about it, 2nd place, 4th place, and 5th place are all season champions. And he's right in tow. He's right behind him. So now would be a fantastic chance for Billy Stanley to come out here with the top 5. But if Blount doesn't stop that blinking right now, Billy Stanley might be in the next caution here. But Barney has the green flag in his hand, getting ready to wave this one again. Laurie, looks like David Noble sticking his nose out there, trying to get out of the way. Hopefully Neff doesn't get black flagged here for passing somebody under yellow. They might wave that one. Let's see how this one goes here for the lead. Already a huge stack up as Duke cuts the nose off of Holloway. Holloway is able to make the quick move. Akers gives him the area he needs to make it safe, cut down to keep that 44 from ripping him to pieces. Already single file, Duke, Holloway, Akers, Robertson, and Bledsoe. But man, we are once again back under caution. I think we're starting to get the yellow fever again.
It looks like the yellow flag this time. It looks like it may be for David Cox, as he was incident, and it looks like Robert Lynch once again collected in an incident as he was spun by Richard Suddeth.
Good Lord, what a bad... That's kind of a bad look here, you know, as seeing how they're spinning here. That is just a nasty shot. Taking a look at it here again where... Yeah, Suddeth looks like he avoids the wall a little bit, catches Lynch. Lynch has just enough speed because he was getting the run on David Cox here, and look at Neff. Man, that dude just can't get out of there. Brian Neff gets obliterated here. Robert Lynch still on the inside. Looks like Brandon Murray got a piece of that.
It looks like Brian Neff also got a little piece of that as well.
Makes you wonder if the quick repairs, how many fast repairs, you know? I mean, these guys have got to be starting to kind of run on their last leg here. I don't know how many more might still have one left, as we're watching the 3 drivers that were collected in that last caution. Looks like David Cox has a huge amount of left front damage to that machine out there. Let's see if we can take another closer peek at it. Boy, he's in a boatload of trouble. Let's take a look at Robert Lynch. Great drone footage here. Both of them with a lot of damage. Richard Suddeth with a good lick here on the front as well. So 3 drivers catching back up to the pile here. See a Facebook user out there saying drive safe, guys, and saying not again. Unfortunately, yes, we are back under caution for the 7th one here tonight. We are starting to collect a good bit of yellow flags. I would say some of them, I don't think we've seen any net code other than after the wreck here, Douglas. And I know a lot of guys are bumping and banging around here a good bit. And I think these guys would be a little more comfortable in these cars, but I think now it's getting close to the end where, you know, the gloves are off, and let's try to, you know, try our best to get back to the front.
Most definitely. I think tonight we only seen like 2 netcode incidents for incidents that shouldn't have happened, but a lot of the drivers, I mean, yeah, they're starting to race a little bit more aggressive now, because we're starting to get to the end of the race, because I think we got like 14 laps to go, so it's getting close to the end here. So a lot of drivers you're going to see get a little more aggressive, but some of these guys too in the front also got to be careful, because a lot of these guys are either down to 1 fast repair or have no fast repairs at all. I know Adam Robertson is one of those people that have no fast repairs, so if he gets collected in an incident well enough, he could be done. So a lot of these guys just got to be careful too, and make sure they don't get collected in another incident.
Yeah, right now, top 5 feeling pretty stellar right now. Duke, Holloway, Akers, Robertson, and Bledsoe sitting 1 through 5. Billy Stanley taking a peek just on the outside. It's sitting 6th, and Eric Blount, David Noble sitting 7th and 8th. Brian Neff is 9th, and Brandon Murray is 10th. So taking a look here, check this out. I believe David Duke, taking a look at him here. Yeah, David Duke, ready, fireball with boom. I'm fairly certain this looking pretty the same here, mister. All right, almost think they're teammates. All right, let's see if David Duke can help these guys out a little bit. Look at this run here from the back. You think it'll hold? I thought Robert Lynch was going to come up at almost 60 miles an hour faster than the rest of the field here and try to sling past everybody.
Definitely seeing a lot of guys jump out of line as they are definitely wanting to get their moves in. And I think Chris Akers and Randy Bledsoe were two individuals, and particularly as we've seen them shoot down to the inside of the front stretch wall. But looks like they kept the sticker. Oh my God, Randy Bledsoe looks like he is losing a lot of ground, as looks like David Duke, and it looks like Chris Akers are pulling away from him like mad.
Yeah, that they are almost about half a second away here. Randy Bledsoe was battling alongside Daniel Holloway. The Candyman started getting into his head there as he was having to ride down close to the paint. But Bledsoe able to capitalize here, sitting third. Robertson is fourth. Daniel Holloway is fifth. If this thing can go green all the way to the end, this would be fantastic for Chris Akers, who may have a chance to come away with an extra $50. But Akers, he is right now leading this one as he's ahead by only a fender. Right now he's heading into turn number one, trying to hold it close to the bottom. Now, I don't know if you remember earlier in the season, Chris Akers, we were calling him Reese Pieces there instead because his car was always in pieces from spinning out or crashing into the wall. But Akers able to hold alongside the great David Duke here as these guys fight down the backstretch. The number one and the 44 going at it side by side, almost looking in each other's windows. You can't imagine what hand gestures they're sharing with each other as the number one car is out in the number one spot. He has passed almost the entire field here into the front, and it looks like Randy Bledsoe's looking to follow suit as he makes contact here with David Duke. Duke flying up the track a little bit as the 81 machine collects it back together, and this is looking fantastic as we are 3 wide for second place.
3 wide for second place indeed. Adam Robertson had no hesitations making it 3 wide as he definitely wants to get it to go as well. I don't think Robertson cares as of this point. He wants to get to that top spot. And also here comes the Candyman, Daniel Holloway, once again peeking his nose into the action back in spot number 5. Right now, currently for spot number 3, it looks like the battle's going to be. Adam Robertson's trying to get to the inside of Randy Bledsoe. Oh, Daniel Holloway with a little bit of a bump down the back straightaway, trying to give Robertson probably a little bit of a boost. But it looks like it's not going to hold, or still trying to hold right now. Randy Bledsoe is stuck on that outside. Adam Robertson's still holding back on the inside. So, an interesting battle for spot number 3 as Bledsoe looks like he caught the wall. It looks like Adam Robertson will settle back into spot number 3, and Daniel Holloway will follow suit in spot number 4.
Yeah, not too bad. Last lap, Adam Robertson with the fastest time of a 54.63. That pays off well as he moves into third out there in the chat. Yes, I did say Stellar out there. Stella, we will see you actually tomorrow as we watch these guys here at Graceland on this fine Tuesday night. And Randy Bledsoe trying to see if he can get Adam Robertson behind him as the Candyman has found a soft spot. Poked his way in through underneath, and now that Hershey Kiss is going to move his way on down the backstretch here. And so far, so good out of the 26 machine of Daniel Holloway. But we have only about 11 and a half laps left here to go as Randy Bledsoe is still putting the pressure on. Daniel Holloway is starting to get away, but Adam Robertson staying high, and Brandon Murray starting to resurrect his race, sitting 6th. So notice who's showing up as the 76 behind either the 81 or the 28 here. This might be a good shootout here for that 4th, 5th position as Chris Akers is leading this one by over a quarter of a second.
Definitely right now, Chris Akers is still leading the way as David Duke is sitting back in spot number 2. As of right now, according to the times, Duke is right now running the faster time as it looks like we are back under caution.
Brian Neff, again, is caught up in another incident. I think the 60 of Blount caught in it too.
Yeah, looks like Eric Blount got a little tight and caught the wall. Once again, Brian Neff was just a victim, nowhere to go.
Right now, I guarantee you Chris Akers has thrown the helmet and the gloves out the window. I think this was his to lose. Dude, how do you come from the back? You're now leading the race, and we're back under caution. I thought we had gotten over it.
I have no idea. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't want to be Brian Neff right now. He's probably gotten collected in 3 or 4 separate incidents. He works his way up to the front and just gets collected in another incident. I don't know how this man can continue going, but Brian Neff, I got to give him credit.
Wow. Yeah, Blount looks like he ricochets off the wall here. Neff is not here to have a conversation with. I think it would be hilarious to see him figure it out here. Boy, what a mess this race has been.
I would say get him in here, see what he says, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to be in the mood to talk to us after getting collected in yet another incident.
Yeah, he's hiding. He's hiding, that's for sure. I think it'd be funny. I think he'd probably give us an earful. That's for sure. But man, hats off to Chris Akers, really making up this race. He's got to be nervous here. He's got to be big time nervous. And I got to admit, I would love to talk to Chris Akers. I think last time I talked to him, I ruined one of his races. So I might hold off on this one for a little bit. Down pit road is Fireball Woody. Fireball Woody is down pit. And so is Richard Suddeth. Suddeth is pit. Ooh, check that out. Neff, Blount, and David Cox on their way down. I've got to admit, if you are damaged and you were out of fast repairs, this might actually be really good. You're actually able to come down, try to straighten that race car out. If you were falling behind or dealing with some aerodynamic damage, not allowing you to rotate through. So maybe there's a positive here in the cautions. Some of our faster guys are able to kind of piece their race back together as their pit crews piece their cars back together.
Most definitely. And like I said, I don't know how many of these drivers have how many fast repairs left, but it's gonna be 5 laps to go. As of this point, with 5 laps to go, I don't think I would care about the fast repairs as of this point, because if you're running in the top 5, you either got to make something happen or you got to go.
Boy, Brian Neff, quick pit stop for him, 1.25 seconds. That's probably his final fast repair here, as it looks like he doesn't have a scratch on that 69 machine, as he's got to catch up back there to Robert Lynch and Billy Stanley and get lined up here back for the green flag run, as the pace car lights are still on. Got a couple of drivers that are kind of scratching their head here going, man, what in the world is going on? How do I get through here? Boy, I just don't know. I just don't know. It's going to be kind of shifty here for some of those drivers. Do appreciate each and every one of you out there joining us here tonight on the broadcast with the GRaceland Shootout series. Definitely, we've been having a little bit of trouble getting through these final 50 laps here. 8 laps to go. We've seen a huge amount of fast drivers get knocked out here. Larry Fairman, only driver to take it back there to the garage. He lost 7 positions, sitting in that 15th spot. Richard Suddeth down 7, sitting 12th. Only person not to move from where they originally started here in this race is Brian Neff. But Neff has been bounced around like a ping pong ball all night here tonight. But in the positives, Brandon Murray and Randy Bledsoe, they've each moved up about 7 positions here tonight. And Chris Akers has moved up just about the entire field, 13 positions here tonight. Fantastic moves by him, I would say, for a 14th position start. I think he should end up winning that Darren and Sons deal here, because I don't think, boy, I just don't know. I don't think anybody else can beat this entire flip-flop here. We'll see how James Napier feels about that. Pace car lights are off, Douglas. Mindset here, man. If we can go all green, Chris Akers got to be on the loud pedal.
Most definitely. Can't be caught sleeping on the start, especially if you're in the front. You got to make sure you're right with that leader and don't lose ground of him.
Oh, yeah. See Liz out there in the chat. I'm sure she's down there rooting on Billy. Hopefully you don't get him all wound up. He's got to concentrate now. You stand right behind him and say, turn left, turn left. He's gonna fumble, so don't get in his head. He's got a spotter who'll try to do some work for him, as right now Robert Lynch will be lining on the outside of Billy Stanley there for the 7th, 8th row. that we're going to see out there. Let's see how this one goes. Chris Akers and David Duke. As the Ford Mustang pace car lights are out, we will be back under green with 6 laps left to go. I'm hoping that bar that says 8th caution, we don't see that color again. I'm ready to see this one kind of wrap it up and get it done here, Douglas, because I would love to see, you know, kind of who wins this. You know, was it an underdog? Is it somebody who qualified up front? I mean, we had so many fast drivers out here. I mean, I believe the fastest time out on the track was Adam Robertson with a 54.63 out there on the track, and that is blistering speed. So let's see if he can repeat that, as he'll be starting in 4th.
Yep, and it looks like pace car is going off. And what do we have for the front row? And there is what I'm talking about. Chris Akers right now, not wasting no time getting back on that throttle. And it looks like he'll go to the #1 spot. And also the Candyman, it looks like he is on a mission to try and get to spot #2. Like I said, it's either you got to make something happen now, or it's go now or go broke. So Daniel Holloway is definitely one of those people that need to go, as well as Adam Robertson and Randy Bledsoe, who is sitting back at spot #5. And it looks like Brandon Murray is trying to make something happen too, a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, I got to admit, even on that restart when Chris Akers got away, Daniel Holloway is actually pinching David Duke toward the wall. And we are back under caution. Oh, boy. Well, I was saying that Daniel Holloway had actually pinched David Duke up toward the wall. And that allowed, you know, kind of allowed Chris Akers to get away because Duke couldn't rotate down like he had hoped. And that was finally his chance. But I got to admit, Chris Akers doing his fastest time there between turns 3 and 4 during the race here. With a 27.18. No one's gone that fast on this entire track all night. So awesome run by him, but that is not going to deter him at all. He's gonna have to try to give it another restart here, but I think it may be I think it's too early for a green-white checkers. We're looking at Robert Lynch trying to limp this thing around the track yet again. Let's see what let's kind of see how this one unfolds. Did you see kind of where it started?
Yeah, I did see kind of where it started. It actually looked like that Brandon Murray got a little tight, and then after a little bit of contact, it looks like he may have gotten collected with Randy Bledsoe after they were making contact. But after that, Murray just went straight to the wall trying to retain himself.
Oh,
but
Bledsoe with the contact. No. Into the wall. Ricochet. Blount. Boom. How did Lynch get into the wall? Lynch was wall riding before he got there. Oh, man.
And unfortunately, even, I think that may have taken Brandon Murray out of contention, as it looks like he has taken his car to the garage.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're taking a look at Lynch. It looked like the safer barriers got him there. I think Billy Stanley was able to come out there just about unscathed on this one. Oh, this is Billy actually sliding. He got actually contact from the rear. Wonder who caught him. Oh, is that Neff? Yeah, it's Neff.
Yep.
Man.
Also looks like, along with Brandon Murray, it looks like Eric Blount also took his car to the garage.
Blount. On the roof. Robert Lynch. Destroyed. Boy, that's a lot of drivers with a lot of damage here. Right now, down pit is Lynch, David Cox, and I believe Fireball Woody's also down pit here. I'm showing Blount is showing his ticker. Is it showing kind of disconnect here?
I don't think he's disconnected yet, but I think he's... oh, actually, he may have had a longer pit stop, as it looks like he's coming back out.
All right, well, Eric Blount able to return back. I wasn't sure if he was having a tow. Last time we saw him, he was on the lid. But he is actually able to return back to the track. Eric Blount, yeah. He's able to return back to the track. Boy, a lot of drivers having some... boy. This is kind of turning up to be an interesting one. I've got to admit, this is a little tricky. It's a little tricky here. Pace car lights are still on, though. I don't know if they extended it one here.
I think they did extend it.
Yeah, probably because of the toe there. For our Blount. Yeah, I thought they were. Huh. You wouldn't think they'd extend it though. You know what I mean? I think when they weren't counting cautions or counting caution laps, you don't extend it. So, all right, well. So out there saying this is going to be a shootout for sure. We will be back under green. This should be our probably a green-white checkered here, I believe. Maybe heading into this one. I always get concerned. This is always that halfway point, whether they decide to count it or not. Normally you start 3 to go. Once we hit the line, it's 2 to go. So we might be skipping the green-white checkered here and try to see if we can fire this one through. We are up to 9 cautions here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. GRaceland Shootout Series trying to do their best to get this one wrapped up here. Appreciate you guys staying tuned in to find out who our winner is going to be. Is it going to be Chris Akers, David Duke? Is it going to be Adam Robertson trying to come all the way back? I mean, heck, it could even be Richard Sutton sitting back there in 8th position if some guys get collected here into the front. But I would keep my eye on the Candyman. He's going to play a pivotal role in here somewhere as the 81 of Randy Bledsoe. I think he's going to do something unexpected. I think he's going to try to fire to the inside of turn number 1 if he can get a running start here. This might be what we're going to see. So, boy, somebody out there in the chat is saying David Duke. They're calling him to win it here in the 44 machine. The only way I can figure David Duke might be able to kind of have his work cut out for him if Akers gets a fantastic start. But let's see how this kind of wraps up here. Douglas, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you. And I could tell you right now before we get to green, all these drivers that are here, it's going to be no give and take. It definitely comes to this last and final lap. Pace car looks like he's finally getting onto the pit road. And an eye on here on our front row, see who gets a good start here. Barney got that flag in the stand. Green flag is in the air. It looks like once again Chris Akers with a really good start. Once again, like I said, no give and take, and we are seeing contact here for the number 2 spot as David Duke gave Adam Robertson a little bit of a little nudge. As Robertson will settle back into spot number 3. I think everybody's going single file right now, but we got to keep an eye on the battle for the number 1 spot between David Duke and Chris Akers. Akers right now has it, but Duke wants it. So right now we may see something going into this corner. Oh, as they are right now not giving each other an inch. It looks like a little bit of contact going into turn 3.
Excellent job there by Chris Akers in the number 1 Reese's machine, pushing that Tennessee 44 car down to the bottom. Randy Bledsoe is around, and we're going to be back under caution, and boy, we didn't need that. I think this was going to be a shootout to the end, and that would have been awesome. Because right now, Chris Akers played a perfect game here, driving him down to the infield and then leaving him because he knows he can't enter the turn that deep into the turn. So, wow. What an excellent run there by Chris Akers, but unfortunately, we're going to have to rewind this and do it again. Randy Bledsoe was doing an awesome job here tonight, and I kind of called that the 81's going to be a key factor in this run here. I just didn't think like that. Let's see how, does a safer barrier get him? Yep, got him again. There's Neff. God, that dog. Yeah, right now, I gotta admit that. Right now, I gotta keep an eye on Chris Akers, just trying to keep that man behind me. I don't know. I'm out there calling out David Duke to win it, and that was looking pretty solid to be the winner there. That is not going to be the fact. We're going to have Chris Akers here in the front as we go under our first green-white checkered here of the night. Randy Bledsoe, look at that. He's going to have to make up a lot of distance here. He's going to be behind the heavily damaged Robert Lynch.
I think that was just at the point where Randy was trying to make something happen, but really wasn't enough.
Adam Robertson, what are you doing, my man? What in the world was that? All right. Hopefully the pace car lights turn off. I'd like to get this bound back underway. Cross the brickyard. No. Pace car lights remain on.
Actually, it looks like that's why they extended it, and that's really cool. It looks like they extended it so Eric Blount can get his lap back.
Huh. Eric Blount getting his lap back. Interesting. All right. Let's see if we can grab a hold of. Let's see if we can grab a hold of our Grand Marshal of the race, David Cox. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Patrick. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right, man. Well, we are starting to get a huge slew of cautions here. We're up to 10 now, man. But you still have been able to remain up here in the top 10. How do we get a top 5 out of you tonight?
Well, I'm hoping, trying my hardest. Things pretty loose, though.
Pretty loose. I mean, loose is in the, kind of the rear end of the car, or is this, or does the steering just feel sloppy?
Yeah, kind of both for me. I just switched for one to go, so.
Oh. Well, yeah, I know. I would probably say, you know, normally they say a loose car is fast, and I think you would probably enjoy these tires getting heated up pretty solid and being able to stick it back out there and get underway. But give me a shout out here real quick. I think I just saw the pace car lights go off.
Yeah, they shortened it up on us, but want to say thanks to 5 Star Beverages for putting all this on, and Billy for running the lead, you for broadcasting.
All right, appreciate it, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's David Cox. Get a little word in from him. And right now, Douglas, we're going to have to watch Chris Akers and David Duke go at it one more time, I'm hoping, as we watch the Candyman actually give a shove there to David Duke, which is going to make a huge problem here for turn number 1. Speaking of number 1, Chris Akers in the number 1 spot in the number 1 car. Sitting there seeing if he can hold him here, shooting through turn number 1 as he rotates through 2. But he's still got a fender, David Duke does, on the outside line. Where is he going to place it? Duke, great run here on the outside, and the number 1 makes contact. That is not good right now. Chris Akers' chance of winning here is over. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now under the 11th caution here of the night, and that is not what any driver wanted to see, either up here or at the bottom. Let's see what the number 1 net code. There you go, Douglas. You got what you asked for. Net code. Yeah, go. Yeah, and then you see David Duke trying to get out of there, and Lynch trying to shoot the gap, trying to get out of the wreck.
I'll tell you what, if I was Chris Akers getting collected by a net code,
I would be sending this into iRacing and saying, hey guys, can you fix this? Because this just cost me the race. What a
yeah, if I was Chris Akers, I would not be a happy camper right now.
Yeah, he didn't make contact. He never touched him, but I guess that's the trade-off. Instead of having a chance of some serious injury out here on the track, you get a chance of some serious net code. But who squeaks out of this is Adam Robertson into the lead. Robertson, against all odds, returns back. And what I find extremely interesting is these are the exact 2 guys who were on the front row at the beginning of the race. Holloway had the pole, and it showed, well, they're starting in the number 1 position, and Adam Robertson was sitting 2nd. I mean, Billy Stanley started 4th. He's sitting in the 4th position. I mean, Brian Neff is kind of the oddball out. He's up 6 positions, sitting 3rd. And you remember Randy Bledsoe getting spun out. He's now sitting 5th. So, I mean, that wreck that took out... yeah, it's pretty tough out there. All right, net code, he was going to make contact anyway. Maybe.
I think that maybe could have been a little bit more avoided. The net code was pretty bad on that. I think they could have avoided making contact.
Yeah. Well, it does look like, you know, they almost had 4 feet in between them. And don't get me wrong, I've raced next to guys, and you want to snug up next to them, because what it did is it allowed Chris Akers to control the next turn. Chris Akers would have snugged up next to Duke as he was getting the run, but what you do is then you run Duke deeper into the turn. Well, what is everybody afraid of, and everybody making clipping here tonight, is they're hitting that safer barrier wall. So when you ride him high into 3, Duke has to check up. Then you've got Chris Akers who can then break away, drop down to the left, and pull away by a car length and a half, and Daniel Holloway come up and make up that position. And then it would have been a 1-2 with Adam Robertson sitting third. But then the net code, the two of these guys making contact, that's not how it needed to be with these two, kind of clipping each other here. It was so extremely unfortunate here. I just don't know, how somebody can kind of recover from this. The way Chris Akers has unfortunately kind of come about on this turn here. Trying to see if I can find maybe a better angle at the no contact here. This is, as you see, a little bit of the turn, and he's straightened up. That's the problem. This is the part that bothers me. As you see where he's getting straight here. Here's where he's kind of cranking it to kind of close the gap a bit. Right here. There's the yank over.
Yeah.
And then when he straightens up, right there, his car is straight. And then you see the 44 looks like he nudges over just a hair as well. And then the two of them get spun.
And that's like I said, that's unfortunately where the net code is so bad. It's just the slightest move could like trigger that. It's like contact, but that's why the net code with iRacing is bad with incidents like that, because I've been a victim of them myself, and it's not fun when you're collected in one.
No, it is not. I always try to get people to consider, and I know netcode, it's spun me up pretty well before racing as well. And the only thing that kind of makes you calm down a little bit is, right now I've got 15 drivers in 15 different locations, on one server, and trying to put these guys as close as I can. I can't be mad at iRacing about that. I mean, of course you want them to tighten the tolerances a little bit. I've seen cars drive through one another and no one get wrecked. But just kind of try to straighten some of this out. I mean, we got guys in Tennessee, New York, a couple there in Mississippi. We got a couple in Nevada out here racing. We got one in Canada racing. So it's just so many people all in one area, and then trying to squeeze it down and make it happen is really something. We if you think about it, 40 years ago we were going, what is the internet? And now we're racing on it. So let's go ahead and bring this one back here, 21st century, with Adam Robertson and Daniel Holloway. They'll be starting here in the front row, and I guarantee you this is about to be the class act here tonight. Let's see if we can get these two boys back under green as the pace car lights are off. Ford Mustang down pit road. Robertson in the brand new paint scheme. Let's see if it's going to pay off for him for here tonight. Let's see if I can mix that up any more here. Let's get it going right now. That Ford Thunderbird trying to get a pull, and Daniel Holloway not fooled in the least bit as they head into turn number 1. Holloway outside line. He's finding that as to be the preferred line for him. Can he hang? Right now, Robertson trying to mix it up here. 60 machine is around. How are we back under caution? Man, you would think we'd be out of green, white checkers.
And right there is the cause of the caution. It looks like Eric Blount may have got clipped.
Yeah, I thought I saw something there back in Sutton. I wasn't sure what had happened here. Duke shot the gap here. I wonder. Let me take a ride along with him on this one. See if we can find something. Kind of find back in position. See that wheel. Eric Blount moves down to the 11th position. Leave David Noble. He is down pit road for the last 10.5 minutes here. Drivers taking it to the garage. Fairman, Fireball Woody, and Brandon Murray. Brandon Murray is finally down and out here. He'll have a 13th place finish. I believe David Noble will have a 12th place finish. Boy, that's a bummer there. Eric Blount moves down to the dead last spot of 11th position now.
And you know what, Patrick? I actually noticed, I think these guys only had 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, so I'm actually wondering right now if this race is going to right now end under caution, because I think they used all their chances at a green-white checkered.
Yeah, that it is, and it's looking like Robertson, Holloway, and Neff will be our 1, 2, and 3 guys here. Wow. Yeah, threw it under caution. That's just going to allow them to kind of wave around and let it go. That is going to do it here for the race. Robertson coming all the way back after so many bang-ups there. Not too bad. Huh. Well, then that'll trip you up there, won't it, Douglas?
Most definitely.
All right. Neff, if you think about it, how many times did he get spun around and hammered, and he still came out with a podium position here tonight? Neff ended up 3rd. Holloway was 2nd.
Tell you what, Brian Neff definitely shouldn't feel bad at all. Podium position coming all the way back from getting collected, I think, in what, 4 incidents? You got to give Brian Neff credit.
Yeah. That was something right there. That was... How? Alright. Billy Stanley just missed it, though. Just missed it. I think some solid green flag laps might have helped him out here. Robertson getting some of those burnouts in. Awesome job here as he's looking to get a quick picture. Give a little conversation here about our championship points. Daniel Holloway still leading this one. Chris Akers is 2nd. Adam Robertson is 3rd. David Duke 4th. And Philip Temples with his last week win is 5th. Temple's not showing here tonight, so he's going to lose some positions here as Brian Neff ended up getting that 3rd position. But Holloway with a 2nd place finish tonight, that should keep him just nudged out in front of Adam Robertson with his win here tonight. So that should be a very, very good turnout here as the number 28 of Adam Robertson goes ahead and brings home the win here as he leaves a little rubber there on the brickyard. See if we can find Brian Neff here pretty soon if he's able to wrangle that guy together. There he is. I don't think we found Brian Neff, so guys, hold on just a moment. We'll see if we can catch up to our guys. All right, everybody, and we have caught up with our 3rd place finisher here, Brian Neff. Now, Brian, you ended up in a boatload of trouble here tonight. We'll talk about lap 17, crashed. Lap 26, crashed. Lap 41, crashed again. You were able to get enough fast repairs to fix that car up just enough to come out with a 3rd place finish here tonight, man. How do you keep your head down and keep charging forward?
Man, I have no idea. I feel like Well, lap one, I spun on my own. Apparently, you can't text and drive at the same time, but but the rest of them, man, everybody was wrecking in front of me. I don't know. I literally said something on the radio about, "Come on, what? I don't know what's going on." So and then that last one, Bledsoe just overdrove the corner, and hopefully he didn't kill anybody in the stands. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, he was having to go for broke. There was nothing left. But man, dude, you were on a roll here tonight. I know that Winn-Dixie machine. We kind of saw it slinging a couple times through the grass. The landscaping crew will be definitely out there fixing it tomorrow. But dude, this race here tonight is definitely. I would probably say you gotta feel like Rocky here at the end of Rocky #1 there with Apollo Creed. You gotta be pretty worn out after so many laps and. So kind of going back to the front here all night.
Yeah, I think I went from the back to the front about 4 times tonight. So I told my crew chief we need to get one of those wide haulers because, man, last week we couldn't get it in the back. Like I had to pay to have it taken back to the shop on an open bed trailer. So we're going to get a wide load thing. It's going to take longer, but at least we'll be able to get it on the hauler.
Oh yeah, well, definitely folding the fenders out so you butterflied your car. All right, man. Well, we head to Chicagoland, I believe. Right, Douglas, for the next race?
Yes, Chicagoland.
All righty, man. Well, that 1.5-mile cookie cutter. Talk to me about it.
I mean, it just depends on how it goes. Like I said, we sure have a lot of stuff going on during the race, so hopefully I can stay clean and but if not, I'll have that new hauler, so it will be all right.
All righty. All right, man. Who do you have to thank and give a shout out for your sponsors?
Just Winn-Dixie and the guys. I had Rich and Phil spotting for me. That may be why I knocked the corner off of the car so much, because Phil was spotting for me. So, but you guys for doing the broadcast and gRaceland for running the series, and I appreciate everything.
All right, appreciate it, man. Philip Temples was your spotter?
Yeah, he was my spotter, and he kept saying, you got room, and next thing I know, I was looking backwards and ups, I don't know.
There you go. Ask the blind guy for some sight. All right, appreciate it, Brian, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
All right, guys, peace out.
Yep. All right, Douglas, looks like you have caught up to the Candy Man, our second place finisher. Go ahead and let her rip.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. And standing by with me right now is none other than the Candy Man, Daniel Holloway, who comes off tonight with a second place finish. So, Daniel, I will admit, we've seen a lot of action tonight, a lot of wrecks going on back and forth, but it looks like you were one of the drivers that managed to stay away from a lot of the mess tonight. Tell us, how did your race go overall tonight?
Oh, man, she was a fast car. I felt like I was out there once we got going. I was just gaining on the guys. That first yellow, I did a pitch strategy for fuel and everything, and hoping be green flag, and started picking off one by one. And then I think I got tagged at one time. Didn't even see it, and next thing you know, I'm doing a 360, and off I go. But once we were back to green flag, and it took me a couple laps to get my rhythm going, and then once I got it started, she was just hooking up. Big fight with Adam. I mean, my gosh, I think him and I were battling each other so much. Man, I don't know what to say right now. This one kind of hurt a little bit because I feel like I needed that one lap at the end there, because I was setting him up and got right on his bumper. And I think I was going to do what I did in the heat race with him. So he just had to make a mistake. But what did Dale Earnhardt was going to say to Taylor Bonney in the Bristol race? All I was going to do was just rattle his cage a little bit.
Most definitely, and you did rattle his cage tonight. And like you said before, towards the end of the race, you and Adam Robertson were actually doing quite a battle, not giving each other an inch as you were heading into turn one. Tell us, if this race didn't end under caution, do you think that the outcome would have been different? Do you think you would have had something for Adam Robertson, or do you think it could have played out different?
It could be both, but I knew I had a great shot to go for it, but if there's a chance that if we would have been wrecked, I wouldn't do that. Points night, him and I battling top 3 in the points, so he gained a few on me tonight, but I wasn't going to push the issue. If we're going to wreck, I'd rather get the points and see him next week.
Definitely. And speaking of next week, we know that we're heading into Watkins Glen next week, but that race is not being live broadcasted. But the following week, when we do go live broadcasted again, we will be heading to Chicagoland, none other than the Cookie Cutter. Tell us, how are you feeling about Chicagoland?
I love Chicago. That's a good track for me. It's pretty close to me. It's a few hours away. I've been running on that track with other cars, so tires is a key there because that track loves to eat the tires up. But I'm pretty good there.
Oh, okay, most definitely. So definitely looking forward to Chicagoland for next week. It looks like for you. Why don't you give us your shout-outs?
Shout out to all the sponsors out there, Simtrax, you guys up in the booth. Speedway, Victory Sims, Beef Jerky Unlimited, so I'll have that in a few days or week. Got the poll, so I'm kind of excited for that. Got to thank 5 Star Beverages, Performance Distributors, everybody who was all watching. I know cautions were here and there, but everybody is trying to get those spots. All the friends and family out there that's watching, including my wife again, happy anniversary. And she's looking at me right now. And Patrick and you up in the booth, you guys do an awesome job each time. And, shoot for next 2 weeks or next week.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Adam Robertson, your second place finisher. And that right there will be going up to our race winner now, and I do believe Patrick has caught up with Adam Robertson.
Yep, in just a moment, Daniel. Great, appreciate you, my man. We'll catch you in a couple weeks. Alrighty, Adam Robertson is our winner here tonight. Come on, Douglas, you're killing me, man. You're killing me.
Man.
All right, that's all right, man. We'll go ahead and square this one away. Adam Robertson. I would say I'm going to believe every word you're going to say, but I'm not. A race win tonight I don't think was in your favor after a little tumble up there on lap 17, and we saw you trying to get through the grass on 18. How do we get our head back straight and, come away with a win here tonight?
Well, we got fuel, saved fuel, so we didn't have to pit again, and I hope for the best, because I knew there's probably going to be a tangle in front of us to be at the right place at the right time, and that's what happened.
Dude, the rubber built up on the side of your cars. We're taking a look at it. I mean, you were all over the track tonight. You were flossing back through. You were able to get away and fire right through the center here and come away with the win. Daniel Holloway was probably your biggest adversary here toward the end after the huge tangle up we saw with David Duke and Chris Akers in the front. Talk to me, man. Once you had that restart, did you think you had the win in the bag?
I actually won that race 2 restarts before by barely clearing Daniel, and the caution come out because we were still side by side, but I was barely clear of him. Because if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have been in the right spot to do it. So.
Yeah, very, very tough, man.
But no, me and him had a good race, and I knew I had a good enough car. It's like like he said, he had a fast car. Me and him both had a really fast car. Just getting in rhythm. Our best lap times were literally 0.08 apart. Like we were that close. So it was a good win. I'll take this nice cold drink of Mayfield milk here, and I'll take it the points and go on to the next one.
Alrighty, man. Dude, fastest time out there on the track of anybody else was a 54.63. You really opened that thing up later on here in the run. But, man, we head to the, I would say Chicagoland. It is a parking lot now in the next couple of weeks. It's a parking lot now for mostly Ford trucks. Talk to me about that shutdown track here, man. Your confidence level with Daniel being so close racing with Daniel Holloway out there.
If I remember right, I didn't do the greatest in the world the last time we ran a super late model there. It's been a while, but I don't think I did bad either. it's just a different style of racing. It's kind of like this. Everyone does have a chance. It's just putting yourself in the right spot at the right time and the right strategy.
Shout out time.
I thank 5 Star Beverages for sponsoring my car and the league. Beef Jerky Unlimited for the Pole Award. Performance Distributors for the Hard Charger Award. Thank actually Daniel and Randy. We both ran side by side, felt like most of the race, and I don't think we ever touched once. And all the fans out there, if you didn't pay attention to the cautions, I hope you enjoyed the racing, because when we were going green, that was actually really good racing.
That it was. Adam Robertson, congratulations on your win here tonight. I can't wait to see how you set that car up for the next couple of weeks.
Oh, they're already done. They're the old setups, so it should be the same kind of racing we started with.
You can always tweak them, my man. Always tweak them. Adam Robertson, see you in a couple weeks.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, Adam Robertson, our race winner here tonight, and what a fantastic job he did. Definitely had a lot of different angles he had to go in and kind of push through to get that. Let's see if we can go ahead and get our race results here for the night. Robertson, Holloway, Neff, Stanley, and Randy Bledsoe. Not too bad there by Billy Stanley and Randy Bledsoe battling back for that top 5. David Cox was 6th. Richard Suddeth, after a lot of trouble, 7th. Chris Akers and David Duke, 8 and 9. Robert Lynch, 10th. Eric Blount, David Noble, Brandon Murray, Fireball Woody, and finishing out with Larry Fairman. Definitely a good shootout by all these guys here tonight. And speaking of shootout, the gRaceland Shootout Series, we will see you guys again in 2 weeks. They will actually be having an off week to mark the center of the season. They'll be restarting back up on the 25th of July. Back for Chicagoland. You've heard us say it once, we'll say it again. Chicagoland is when I will see you guys again. Douglas Ross here in the booth with me, Patrick Morrison. We will catch all you guys next time here with the gRaceland Shootout Series.
Getting there fast, hoping and I'm praying I don't run out of gas. I was built for speed, I was made to last, cause I'm going nowhere and getting there fast. Well, I've been down on my luck, but that's okay. Can't be nothing up ahead but shiny days. I know that life has got its ups and downs. I'm tired of feeling like a one-eyed clown. I'm going nowhere and getting there fast, hoping and I'm praying I don't run out of gas. I was built for speed, I was made to last, cause I'm going nowhere and getting there. When my engine is hot and my fan is blowing, I don't kiss enough ass to get nothing going. I'm running wide open, I can tell you, son. Along the way, I had plenty of fun. That's why I'm going nowhere and getting there fast, hoping and I'm praying I don't run out of gas. I was built for speed, I was made to last, cause I'm going nowhere and getting there. I'm going nowhere and getting there fast, hoping and I'm praying I don't run out of gas. I was built for speed, I was made to last, cause I'm going nowhere and getting there. Well, I'm going nowhere and getting there fast, hoping and I'm praying I don't run out of gas. I was built for speed, I was made to last, I'm going nowhere and getting there